When I watch television and I see the ads on TV and I see some of the reality shows and everything, I think clearly I'm the only one who's not on acid. I can't believe the shit I see on TV and the shit that you got people to do on TV.
What show?
Fear Factor?
Everybody must be high on that show.
I was the only one that was high behind the scenes. I used to eat pop brownies and, well, mostly lollipops. That was the big thing.
Yeah.
Because on marijuana, I could function fully.
Yeah.
On alcohol, if I was drunk, it would be a terrible show. It would suck. But on pot, I was inquisitive. And also, I would be actually into talking to these people. Whereas normally in real life, I'm like, this guy's crazy, wants to fucking win this. I gotta get away from this dude. But when I'm high, I'm like, so what's up, dude? You ready to do this? Well, it made it enjoyable to me because the first season I did totally sober, and I thought the show was going to be canceled immediately, which is why I was willing to do it in the first place. I really never thought it was going to be a hit show. I thought it was ridiculous. I'm going to take people and sick dogs on them and make them eat animal dicks. I'm like, nobody's going to watch that. You know, that's what I thought. I figured everybody would have tuned in until they, you know, there was a public outrage and they yanked it off the air. That's what I expected.
Turns out Fear Factor was actually the high watermark.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, compared to a lot of things, unfortunately.
That should be the promotion for legalizing marijuana. It makes reality contestants interesting.
It does. It's the only thing that worked for me.
It's good to see you out of prison.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't think most people are aware of what went down with your drug bust.
Well, it wasn't a drug bust. It was a bong bust.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I had the drug thing totally taken care of, you know. I had my medical card, I had my license. When they said it was for bongs, I was fucked, man. Guilty.
When they raided your house, which is an amazing story, and they said, do you have any drugs on the premises? And you just went, I'm Tommy Chong.
Hey. Then they give me that routine where they say, well, if you tell us where it is, we'll be out of here faster. I says, every room in the house. and then he got defensive. He goes, well, we don't have our dogs. And I says, well, that's another thing. What kind of drug bust is this without the dog? They were doing it all wrong.
He's gonna phone to your agent. What kind of shit drug bust did you get me?
They said, you know why we're here, don't you? No, I said, I don't. They said, bongs. And that's when I got pissed off, because it was my son's business. You know, they had helicopters, everything.
So they came in full SWAT gear and
12 of them.
Helmets and flak jackets and the whole
12
thing?
of them, everything. And it was weird, man, because I had a glass door and I could see them. And they looked like trick-or-treaters, you know? They're all dressed up, they got their guns, got their outfits on, you know?
Oh, how great would it have been if you opened the door and just gave them candy and closed the door again? Oh, that's funny.
It was a politically correct bust. They had a black, they had Chinese, they had a woman. It was like a movie.
In a movie, they would have dogs.
At least. I was going to fight it. I was kind of looking for this excuse to show the world, you know, that pot is safe and it's good for you and all that, you know. And then my lawyer told me straight, there's a charge is paraphernalia, and the only thing you could talk about was paraphernalia. And I said, well, that's fine too. I'll fight on that. Then the government come back and said, well, if you don't plead guilty, we're going to go after your wife and your son. Now my son, if he went to jail, it'd be, okay,
fuck him.
You know, I couldn't imagine visiting my wife, you know, for something I did and say, so how are they treating you, hon? You know?
Wasn't there some question about entrapment?
It was total entrapment. Well, look, I fell into the trap. I was wide open with it. You know, bong company, Chong bongs, my face is on it. I wasn't hiding anything.
Chong bongs.
So I did a signing in Arlington, Texas. The DEA comes in disguise. Now here's their disguise. They got a headband on.
Oh my God.
Then the guy comes over to me and goes, these pipes, they're not really for tobacco use only, are they? And I said, no. He goes, oh, well, what are they for? I said, for pot. They had backpacks with cameras on, and the guy would kind of lean over. You know? And so they had all that on film. That's the trouble with being a pothead. See, us potheads, the reason there's so many of us in jail is when we smoke pot, we think we're not doing anybody any harm. Why should we be afraid of anybody? you know? Here's how I broke the law. There's not against the law to have paraphernalia in California.
Right.
But it's against the law in Pennsylvania to ship a bong across the state line. Then you're breaking postal law, you're breaking federal law. They would phone up and say, we want you to send, and we would tell them, or the company would say, no, we can't send it to you because you're in a no bong zone, you know? And so they ordered all these bongs, you know, and whoever they talked to, which was probably an agent, and I suspect they put an undercover agent into the factory, said okay, and then they shipped it. They broke the law. That's the only way they got me. In the indictment read that I should go to jail because I made movies that depicted law enforcement agents in a non-flattering manner.
Who said that? Who said that?
That's where it gets chilling.
Yeah, but who said that?
That's in the indictment.
They're talking about movies that you made like 30 some odd years ago.
Up in smoke. That's the only thing they had. You know what they did? They checked my background, and they thought for sure that even Bill O'Reilly said, well, the reason they busted Chong, he had 17 prior convictions. They found none.
Did you have 17?
I was shocked, man. I was shocked. I said, are you sure? Check that again. There must have been something.
I hadn't seen you in a movie in a long time, and this was the movie I ended up seeing you in. It's a documentary called The American Drug War by our pal Kevin Booth, who's here. Kevin, where are you? Great documentarian, and I was so excited that you were in a movie, and I was bummed that it turned out to be this one.
In his attempt to shut down the paraphernalia industry and send a message to Hollywood, John Ashcroft made an example out of Tommy, proving that even a rich movie star is not untouchable for the DEA.
The privatized prison business is big. It's a slave labor market. We get these little jobs and we get like $15 a month, low end. People that are doing the longest time here are the ones that had a strategy, that went to court and fought it and lost. I'll tell you what it did. It made me feel like a black guy.
Wow. As funny as that is, that's a big point about how the prison industry is essentially modern slavery, and it is racist. I mean, overwhelmingly, the war on drugs is affecting minorities.
You're in prison being treated like a black guy, and a black guy knows what that fucking means. Because they're being taken off ballots. They can't vote.
That's right.
That's right.
It's an industry in keeping it illegal, and that's what it becomes. It becomes some self-justifying process. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a person telling another person what they can and can't do, and that's ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to tell me what I can't do if it doesn't fuck with you. If every time a person got high, everyone around them got fucked up too, well then yeah, we got to regulate this shit.
I want to be there.
All you're doing is keeping someone from an experience. I mean, who the fuck are you? But under the guise of government, the idea that any human being should be able to keep another human being from an experience is dumb. That doesn't make any sense. And it's 2011. And at what point in time do we go, stop? Stop. You can't lock people up for shit that doesn't hurt them, for shit that they like, for shit that makes them see the world better. It's crazy.
I don't know if I trust Joe as an authority on this, though. I ate a pot brownie in New Zealand that opened doors that haven't closed. And I was having panic attacks that I didn't know you could have, so I direct messaged Joe on Twitter, and I said, I'm having a massive panic attack. I just ate a pot cookie. I don't know what to do. Have you ever felt like this? And he wrote back, every day, brother, every day.
You gotta learn how to let go. We gotta let go. Close your eyes and watch the cartoons fuck. That's what it is. It's always, when I'm hallucinating on too much pot, it's always cartoons fucking behind my eyelids. Well, what people don't know, because one of the things, because pot's illegal, we're not educated about this stuff. Eating it is very, very different than smoking it.
Oh yeah, they told me not to eat too.
Yeah. When you eat it, it produces something called 11-hydroxymetabolite that is like 4 times more psychoactive than THC. And it lets you talk to dolphins. For real. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I was on a boat in Hawaii on a pot brownie and I talked to dolphins And we had a conversation about consciousness.
Yeah, but
Rick?
here comes a rational voice. The thing is, talking to dolphins is great, but sometimes I wish it would drive us to something. Like, that gets me so mad about they circled you like in wagons for a bond. And you know, all this stuff, and it's like, but what do you do? Write it down and press click and send, and 5 other guys know it. Like, it seems like we're at a point.
I feel like I just ate that pot brownie again. I'm not kidding. I'm not.
Yeah, and Eddie, all I'm saying
Don't do this.
And all I'm saying is
Don't
facts.
fuck with me.
Wouldn't it be great? And here's where it gets laughed off. If we talk to a dolphin, we get some fucking information out of him, and he inspires us. He inspires us, but it won't happen.
Back in the day when men were fighting, they would give them booze. They would give them alcohol. Because alcohol makes you aggressive and ignorant and stupid, and you go kill people, you know? But the people that were fighting over in Vietnam, they were getting high. Everything changed. Everything changed. All of a sudden they go, I'm not mad at that guy. Why should I kill him?
Oh, yeah.
And so what happened, America lost the war, basically, and they wanted to blame it on pot.
So I mean,
you see what they did with the kid that shot people in the congressman in Arizona. The first Twitter out was a loner pothead.
Yeah, they described him as a left-winger.
Yeah, left winger. Yeah, the first. And
I love when Fox News does that. Whenever some Republican dude does something really sexually creepy, sucking dicks in bathrooms, whatever the fuck it is, right? They always put like a D right next to his name. They always make it Democrat, like, oh, we didn't know. Oh, we fucked up. We fucked up. Sorry.
That's
D
Republican.
right next to D Vermont. D whatever.
yeah, when everyone knows it's a Republican platform. You do any activism against the war on drugs?
Slacktivism, or, you know, I think the real way activism works, this is the real way. You say what you really feel, and people who enjoy your work listen to you, and it changes the way young people think. And that's really the way you fix things. The system that we have in place is so fucking titanically corrupt, entirely built on unfixable bullshit between the stock market and the fucking special interest groups that pay to get politicians in office in the first place. It's chaos. It's all nuts. The only way you're going to fix it is by influencing young people who are not going to be completely compromised by the system by the time they hear your message.
Well, goddamn it, I've had a blast. Thank you for being here. Tommy Chong, Joe Rogan, keep fighting the fight, man. Rick Shapiro, Eddie Ifft, ladies and gentlemen.